Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to all the Leos out there. If you are a Leo sun, moon, rising, or north node, this is your tarot reading for the upcoming month of March of 2025. In case any of you are interested, I will be using my Midnight Magic Mushroom Tarot deck, one of my favorites. So, Leo, let's see what you guys have in store for March. Interesting, Leo. All of the cards that fell out upside down, which means I didn't see it at first, which means this is energy that's not like consciously available to you. It is available to you, it's just not like you're not aware of it. What's also interesting is one, two, three of the cards that, well, two of the cards that came out, one of the cards that's peeking out, all came out for Aquarius as well. In different contexts though. But it's interesting because you guys are sister signs that it happened this way. So, without further ado, we have the Empress upright, the Devil upright, Eight of Cups. Bottom of the deck, we have Six of Wands reverse. And underneath the Six of Wands reverse is the World, which also came out for Aquarius. And I shuffled these cards like crazy. I shuffled these cards like crazy. Huh. The World. Seven of Cups is under the World as well. And then this is how Justice was peeking out underneath. That's how the deck landed. So there is an underlying sense of justice here. One more time. That's how it was placed down. Underlying sense of justice. I'm going to leave that as is because it's not something that's on the forefront. So lots of like very like this energy is not something you are necessarily consciously aware of. Any of it. Any of it. It's like everything is almost happening like behind the curtains. Like if you're looking at a play, which Leo, you guys love the drama in terms of like being the theatrics, being the drama in terms of theater. You right now, this energy that is cradling you, encompassing you, is like the tech crew. It's the behind scenes action. They're not main stage, but the show can't go on without them. There would be no show without them, which is really interesting. One, two, three, four. Four major arcana cards. Seven of Cups. Six of Wands reverse. Eight of Cups upright. Where do we want to start? Eight of Cups and the Empress. Okay. And the Seven of Cups. You might be in a situation currently that is okay. There's nothing wrong with this situation. We'll use theater as an example. Say you're currently in a show that's off Broadway and it's a show you love. You love the cast, you love the crew, you have the leading role, but there is another show on Broadway that you got offered not the main character but a very significant role in that show. Um and so you're making the choice to leave behind the show that you're currently in and you love all the people and you're off to go to this. The heck was that? There's something under my desk. Sorry. You're off to go on to this bigger role that's going to be harder. There's going to be more monologues. There's going to be harder keys to hit in the songs. But ultimately, it's going to be a greater opportunity for you, not only in the present, but in the future. More exposure, more opportunities on Broadway, et cetera, et cetera. That's what the Eight of Cups energy is. It's leaving something that where there's nothing wrong with where you are, but you know at the top of the hill, there is better for you. It's going to be a difficult trek to get up there, but you know the trek will be worth it because your vantage point, your view, your opportunity at the top of the hill is way greater than your opportunity if you stay where you are. And I do think there's some sort of creative urge that is pushing you towards this new thing. That's pushing you to leave where you are now. And again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with where you are now. And that's why this choice to leave may have been difficult for you. But you know there is greater fulfillment, there's greater abundance, there's greater success. There's greater success for you. And also just manifestations, things you've been wanting for a while are available to you in this new area where they wouldn't have been available to you before. And not only that, cycles are ending by you making this choice. Cycles are ending. Cycles you may have been stuck in for a while. And with endings come new beginnings, although we have no aces here, but the world is not only the ending, It's not only manifestations coming to fruition. It's not just the end credits. It's the opportunity making space for newness to come after that. But right now, I think in the month of March, it's you simmering in that cycle ending. It's you simmering in the like the soup of just being where you are, appreciating where you are, appreciating the ending of the cycle, appreciating the manifestations coming in, appreciating this greater sense of creative abundance, this fertility, if you will. That could literally mean like fertility if you I won't even say that. But it could also just mean creative fertility. It could mean creative abundance. It could mean expressing yourself more openly, more energetically. And ultimately, the thing with this too, with the 7 of Cups on the bottom of the deck, you have the choice. You not only do you have not only have you had the choice on where you want to go, you continue to have the choice of how you want to maneuver moving forward. So you're taking that trek up the hill, you're going to this new Broadway show, whatever it may be. You're not just stuck at the top of the hill. You're not just stuck in that singular role. You have choices once you get there. And I want to emphasize again that all of this energy was upside down or at the bottom of the deck. It's underlying. So you might not even understand how much of a choice you have in determining where you go next. March will be a time where you will want to take s- intensive action. You will want to take intensive action towards where you're going, towards your goals. Because you do have a choice. You're not just flowing with the wind and allowing it to push you or pull you whichever direction. What was that, bub? Hello? My cat just hissed. What's going on? Lots of random distractions here. Anyway, and that's how it might feel for you, Leo. That's how it might feel, which is why I think this ability to choose isn't going to be like it's not going to feel obvious. It might not feel like you have the choice because your energy and focus is being split in different directions, but you do. You have more of a choice than you're giving yourself credit for to determine the direction of your destiny. Not to be dramatic with that, but I mean it is possible that where you go next could determine your next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. So give yourself the credit of having the choice. Don't just let yourself be pushed and pulled by different people or different whatever. You have the ability to choose. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. But within all of this, with the devil coming out, there will be temptations. There will be temptations, vices, or just like this thing in the back of your mind that's telling you you don't have the choice, and that maybe somebody knows better than you do, or just something that there will be some sort of something that is going to be like quite literally the devil sitting on your shoulder, just being like, like, oh, you can't go on Broadway, you can't get this role, you can't take this new job, you can't climb that hill. It's going to be a lot of like negative talk, but it's important that the Empress energy, the angel on your other shoulder, is louder. It's important, or even if she's not louder, if she's more prominent, because that's the thing with your intuition. It's not a loud voice whatsoever. It almost whispers. It's just a go left. Take this road. It'll say it once. It'll say it quietly, but you'll feel the resonance. Where the devil's going to be very loud. The devil's going to be so loud and in your face about like overthinking everything. Sorry for that Tasmanian devil noise that just came out of my mouth. But it's going to be very important to learn to discern between your gut and your intuition and what you feel is right versus what your mind might be telling you is right. Because the fear is the devil, and the fear only exists in the mind. The fear doesn't exist in the body. Especially, oof, if you are holding on to past traumas, get into stretching, get into yoga, get into movement of any kind, dancing, loosen up those areas, loosen up your hips, especially because it'll help you open portals within yourself to be able to heal yourself more prominently, to allow the space for these manifestations, for this abundance to come in, for the cycle to finally complete itself. Um, and with all of that said, I don't think the devil is something that's going to keep you from obtaining these manifestations, these goals, this higher perspective. I think it's just something that's going to be a little bit of a nuisance and make you second guess from time to time. But as long as you are tapped into this creative abundance, this creative energy, this ability to trust that you know what's right for you, and again, you have the choice to decide where you want to go, This is just going to be like this thing right here, this little devil on your shoulder is literally just going to be like, like a gnat, you know. It's not going to do anything. And while the voices of doubt may still be there, remember we have this underlying sense of justice. So it's about showing justice to yourself. The voice of doubts may still be there, but it's allowing the voice or the feeling of your intuition to take like be stronger. And again, not necessarily louder, just more prominent, have with greater force. I've been saying favority in these readings for a long time, and every time I say it, I'm like, I don't think that's a word. I just learned it's absolutely not a word. It's absolutely not a word, and I almost said it again. Oxford, call them up. Favority. Anyway, but in my head, it's like with a greater like force. It sounds like there's a hawk in the tree outside. Huh. Huh. And that's kind of what favority meant to me. Again, even though it's not a real word. It's like how hawks are both gracious and fierce, where they're very like they know exactly where to dive to get the thing that they're looking for, but with such ease, where it looks effortless, but it's very like precise. Precise, looks effortless, takes great like skill to get, but it's almost as if it's natural. That's incredible. I almost never see hawks in this tree. Like I said, little distractions. But I think it's important to take note of these little distractions along the journey, Leo. Take note because a lot of them will be synchronicities along your path and they will resonate differently for different people. I'm not going to give you an, oh, look out for a ladybug kind of thing. Like it's going to be different for everybody. Could be numbers for some, it could be animals for others. It could just be like you hear different words in passing conversations as you're walking down the street. Keep yourself open and pay attention and write down these little synchronicities every time they come up because our unconscious loves to see the evidence of magic happening, especially if we are more logical oriented. If we can write down and witness, like see it for ourselves, the magic happening, and to be able to go back and see it and take note of that same magic, that's how we get out of the fear-based mind and into the trusting gut, the heart-based intuition. So take note. He's still sitting up there too. I guess he's just going to hang out for the reading. This is pretty cool. Thanks, Leos, for your energy inviting this hawk in. Upside upside down. Huh. Okay. This is strange. I went to flip over the card that was upside down. That I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for that. We had the Ace of Cups upright come out, and then Temperance is on the bottom of the deck, and the Ten of Wands under Temperance. So there's a sense of integration with these new beginnings happening. And what did I say earlier? I was like, there's no aces, but the world is not only endings, it's also new beginnings. Here's your new beginning. There's fulfillment coming. There's emotional fulfillment, the ability to be really connected to where you're going. And you're going to find that by taking that first step away from where you are now. That is okay. That's, it's fine. I'm enjoying myself here, but there is better. There is better. And it's important not to like get sucked into the mindset of like, oh, the grass is always greener on the other side, because that's not what's guiding you to step away from wherever you are now. It's not this like this blind hope. It's this feeling. It's this gut feeling that there is more out there for you. You know what's out there for you. And the Ace of Cups is just emphasizing that. It's you having the bravery and the strength to actually step forth into this new beginning because you can feel it's right for you. You can feel there's more for you out there. It's going to bring greater fulfillment. And not only that, there's going to be like this sort of almost like magical spiritual integration. And I love that I just mentioned writing down the synchronicities you see because it's all going to matter. It's all going to matter. I just saw The Godfather for the first time this weekend, and the person I was watching it with said that every single like aspect of the movie is important. There's not a single character that is introduced that doesn't come back. There's not a single line that doesn't have some sort of meaning. And that's kind of the energy here as well. That's the energy here as well. It's write it all down because everything will have meaning. I shouldn't. Not everything. It's not like you're, oh, I found a penny. Blah, blah, blah. It's everything you feel is significant is, but it's about trusting that gut and not overthinking it either. And if you're not sure if it's significant or not, write it down anyway. Write it down anyway. There's going to be a real sense of integration. And the more evidence you can provide yourself, not only in the present, but to look back on in a week, a month, a year, it's going to help you simmer into that energy even more. And just be grateful for your ability to pay attention. There is an art to observance. There is an art and a magic to observance. And the more you can tap into that, especially now, the more you are going to help your creative abundance flow. The more you are going to allow manifestations to come to you. The more abundance in general that's going to come to you. The more your cycles are going to be ending. The quieter this little devil on your shoulder is going to get. The greater sense of justice in terms of yourself and others and your path in the world. It's all going to unfold, blossom like a lotus, and you are going to release burdens. I forgot 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck under Temperance. You're releasing burdens that truly don't belong to you. You're ending cycles of carrying burdens that truly never belonged to you. And it's all about just being present, being aware of your awareness, being aware in the presence. There's a magic to that that you will be able to tap into in the month of March. I'm interested to see what this sandwich of cards is because this is something that's like, it's, let's see. Okay, so it's this side then. We have the moon and then the page of pentacles reverse. Yeah, that's your unconscious, Leo, is so strong right now. You have the ability to open portals and tap in and really truly tap in right now. Your dreams could be bringing you messages. And their messages, especially with the page of that's crazy. Especially with the page of pentacles reverse, it's messages that you might not even recognize as messages, but anything you remember from your dreams, guess what I'm going to tell you? Write them down. Any synchronicities you see in daylight or nighttime, write them down. Any dream symbolism, write them down. Even if it seems like it doesn't matter. If you remember it, it matters. Write it down. Because this message that's coming through to you, it's going to eventually help you in terms of your financial gain, career, maybe whatever. It's not going to be something that makes sense on the forefront, but there is wisdom there. Write it down. And I laughed because, again, we had the moon that came out. That was the one that was flipped over to make it a sandwich. And then underneath the page of pentacles reverse is the sun. So your ability to be aware of these unconscious messages that come through and not write anything off as like, oh, it's nothing. That's not what you should be doing right now. Your ability to actually see significance in the seemingly insignificant is going to help you consciously start to recognize this. Where if you first start writing your dreams down, and again, I mean literally any small detail you remember from your dream when you wake up in the morning, write it down. You could have like a what feels like a 4 hour long dream and remember 10 seconds of it, write down that 10 seconds of it. Because the more you can give your unconscious evidence, the more that magical unconscious nature, the power that you are drawing up in your unconscious right now will become conscious. You are literally taking the ability to move from the like bring the unconscious to the conscious with the sun and the moon. Like there are so many major arcana cards, all upright. Temperance, the Empress, the World, the Devil, Justice, the Sun, the Moon, the Ace of Cups. There's so much. There's so much right now, Leo. There's so much power in the unseen and the unknown that you are able to tap into right now. But you need to start giving your conscious mind the evidence of it. Again, even if your mind thinks it's insignificant, your gut will tell you otherwise. Write down everything. If you see three blue jays, if you find three feathers, if you do see a ladybug, and again, I'm not giving you specifics, I'm giving you examples of what it could be. You keep seeing the number four. Or for me, I've been seeing crazy double numbers everywhere. 2 2, 4 4, 3 3, 1 1, 7 7, 8 8. Like I've been seeing them everywhere the last 3 days. Everywhere. Everywhere. And guess what I'm doing? I'm writing them down. For me, it's just a habit that has been made conscious in the last couple years of my life because I learned early on that there is a magic here. There is something underlying here. But, Leos, you're a fire sign. You are more grounded. You're more rooted in the earthly plane sometimes, especially depending on your other placements. So sometimes you need proof of it. You need to see the evidence of it happening. And again, as a fire sign, you move quickly. So you could see it 1 second, and if you don't write it down, you could like completely forget about it the next. Completely forget about it the next. Give yourself the evidence. Take the time. Bring a journal with you everywhere you go, or a notebook, or even just like a little sticky notepad. Just bring something to write with everywhere you go so you can take note. This isn't going to be forever unless you turn it into a habit like I did. But it's going to be significant in March. And then whatever you write down in March will be significant in the coming days, months, weeks, years, future, etc. But it's going to be a time where you can take the magic that exists in your subconscious, the magic of your unconscious, the mystery of your unconscious, and make it conscious and use that. Use that magic. Period. Period. It's exciting stuff. Lots of movement, lots of integration, Leo. And I looked at, speaking of double numbers, I just looked at the timer at 2244. Wow. It's everywhere. Falcons, cats, things under the desk too. That was the first one. Underneath, unconscious. Lots of magic to play around with, Leo. Lots of magic. Woo! So exciting. But of course, with all of that said, this is a general reading, so it's possible not all of this resonated. Although in your case, Leo, I think it may have, and I think it will. Even if it doesn't resonate right this moment, write it down. Write it down, write it down, and then check back in a month. Oh my God, I just swallowed my hair. Anyway, anyway, with all of that said, of course, yes, general reading. If it didn't resonate, you can check out my website in the description below, and you can book with me for a personal tarot reading. Astrology, human design, and numerology is finally posted. I just got that up this week. So if you're interested, check that out. It is live now. If you did like what you saw, leave me a like and leave me a comment and let me know how it resonated, or even just some of the synchronicities you've already been seeing and taking note of. Write them down. Write them down. Maybe write them down in my comment section to start. And if you did like this, and if you want to get your forecast for the month ahead according to the tarot cards, every other month, we do this all of the time. I'm stumbling over my words. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you're interested in getting this in the future. And also, if you want to see other videos from me in regards to spiritual knowledge, understanding, tarot, astrology, human design, any of it, I have a plethora. I have a well of knowledge. So, and I'm trying to branch out beyond just the tarot reading. So if you do want to see more videos from me, leave me a comment. Let me know what you would like to see in the future. And Leo, the last thing I'm going to tell you, write it down, 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 write it down. Nothing is insignificant. If you feel like there is significance, there is. Write it down. If you wake up and you remember 10 seconds of your dream, write it down. If all you can remember was you saw a dude in a blue hat, write it down. Write it down, write it down, write it down, write it down. Pet your cats, pet your dogs, go to the ocean, find a heart-shaped coral. There's magic available everywhere. Practice the art of observation and intention. And I'm excited to see what you do with this, Leo. Until next time.